Life by Design sets you on a path to discover your purpose. Share in the life journey of our guests from around Africa who live their lives by purpose.
Hi guys, and welcome to another exciting episode of Life by Design. So you know by now that on Life by Design we talk to people who inspire purpose. They share their journey on how they discovered what they were meant to do, and we're doing this with the hope of inspiring you to live your life by design as well. So today I'm joined by a man who, you know, they say a man of many talents. Okay, so he is a self-made businessman, right? Founder of G Junction, Mr. Icon Gauteng, Mr. and Miss Albinism South Africa founder, right? And also the founder of Godfrey Mphatswe Foundation. He's the Mr. South Africa finalist 2016, Mr. SA board member 2017, Face of Bogat Man 2017. Oh man, the list goes on and on and on. And his name is Godfrey Mphatswe. Welcome to Life by Design, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. It's so great to be here.
Like, you have this beautiful list of, you know, achievements, accomplishments. Where did it all start? How did you get to this place? What kind of, you know, plans did you have as a young man? Because obviously it started somewhere, you know, those ideas were planted in you back in the days when you were little. Tell us about that.
Okay, it actually started back when I was in primary school. You know, we used to do Mr. Handsome, Mr. What. So I used to like scoop on those, you know, and then it started there.
Yeah.
And then when I was growing, like, you know, as a young man, you know, I used to see my mother. She used to be this kind of woman. Okay, I lost her in 2016.
Oh,
so she was this kind of woman who will be, she was a believer, first of all. So she'll bring people home and be like, this person hasn't been eaten for 3 days or whatever. Then I'll share groceries with them. And I'll be like, Mom, you're taking the whole grocery, you know. And by that time, I was learning, you know, learning bit by bit. So that's where it started. So when she passed away, I was like, you know, I need to carry on with the legacy and in remembering her, you know. So I started like as well helping people, you know, charities and so on.
So it was those seeds that were sown in you in that little age.
That's
and then in terms of now the pageant side of things, when did that start? Did you know, have a passion for it at a young age as well? And did you know that it was something that you will grow with and it will catapult you into, you know, the stages that you're at right now?
Not really. Hey, it started when I came to Joburg. I grew back in Northwest in Khanalachte. So when I came to Johannesburg in 2003, that's when I joined a casting agency, and it has a modeling side of things, you know. And then as I started with that modeling, then I started like being out there and learning about media and fashion side of things. And then I started modeling for shows like South Africa Mercedes-Benz Fashion Show. I was modeling. I did a lot of show with David Lale as well. And then I started traveling outside where like I modeled for Accra Mercedes-Benz Fashion Show, you know. So that's when my love for fashion was coming on. And then when I wanted to move things to the next level, then I joined Mr. South Africa.
Right.
So when I was a finalist, we're challenged to come up with ideas and how to market the brand, and as well how to incorporate everyone into the brand. Then I started with looking around. Then I was like, you know, people with albinism are not really
represented.
At all. So that's when I started with the love for fashion. Then I collaborated with the SABC. Then I did the first fashion show that was Breaking Boundary and Stereotype. So in that show, I had one lady who was on a wheelchair, which was the first, you know, because she came to me and was like, hey, Godfrey, you know, like I have passion for modeling, but I don't know where to like, you know, promote myself and to go. I was like, hey, you're welcome, you know. And that was a show of its kind, because we had that lady and we had 7 individuals with albinism and other ordinary ones.
Wow. Now you're saying that you didn't really know at a young age that you had it in you to do that, but were there some, you know, things that were said perhaps at home? Maybe, you know, moms know best. Maybe we'll say, I know this one is going to end up,
Yeah.
doing this and that. Were there any such talks around?
You know, people always, like, when I go to do those school, they call them beauty contests,
Yeah.
you know. They're like, wow, your son, you know, he needs to be on TV, you know. So I grew, like, knowing, like, I like things as well, like, because I did ballroom dance as well. So I was like, you know, that kids will like things. So that's where I think the love was, like, developing on the background.
Right.
You know. Yeah.
And you also incorporate, you mentioned that SABC helped you with the pageant that you did. Tell us about your work at the SABC. The one thing we have in common is that we work for the public broadcaster, and that's where we met. So how are you able to merge what you're doing at the SABC with your love for for pageants and developing people through pageants and giving back as well?
You know what's interesting is like, okay, at SABC I work for employee wellness. I do their marketing and communication. So there, you know, you need to have love for people, you know, because like I administer the clinics in all the provinces, 9 provinces. So for that you have to have the love, and when people come to you with problems, you know, you have to have that ear and listen to them. So I introduced, when I got to wellness, things like giving back to charity. So in Mandela Day, we'll take things like our group things and we take them to, we identify one of the charity homes and we'll take it to there. So it's where like my purpose get incorporated in what I do and my work.
Right.
Yeah.
And your purpose being giving back to people, helping people who are less fortunate, who are without.
Yes.
And you've enjoyed support as well from your employer, which is something beautiful. How did you manage to get so lucky with that? We're still trying. We haven't received any support.
You know, I think I broke the barriers when I started with Mr SA, you know, because it was when the company was in a bad light. You know? So in a way, it was like, one of our employees is on Mr SA journey, you know, which was like, okay, this is new, you know, so
let's use this.
Let's use this platform. You know, that's when they got on board and were behind me, you know, and I never disappointed them as well, because everything that I was bringing forth was like putting them on a great light.
So for someone like you who's achieved so much, it's easy for one to be like high-minded and, you know, not be approachable. But you're the opposite. At work, you talk to everyone, you know, and I think that perhaps maybe when someone looks at you for the first time, they will think, oh, nah, I don't want to come close to this guy. But you're actually not like that. Where do you get that from? The love for the people, you know, not being, thinking that you're better than everyone else.
I think that is actually how I was brought up, you know. I learned a lot from my mother, and I learned a lot from my father as well, you know, how they treated people, you know, that they'll take everyone as they are, you know, and they'll bring somebody who's deemed as nobody home and be like, hey, sit with us, you know. So, and as well, I told myself, like, I can be in so many platforms and limelight, but I'll forever be grounded, you know, because again, I think as well, you know, if you have God in you, you know, it's just that thing that keeps on saying, hey, there's a human being and he's greater, you know, and he has purpose in life. And that person can be your employer the next day, you know, life just turns around. Yeah.
And share your journey to the Mr. South Africa stage. How did that come about, and how was it like for you to be part of that?
That was actually a greatest journey, you know, and I actually learned a lot from it, and I actually learned more about my weaknesses and my strength, you know, and as well as on how to execute my talents and my purpose in life, because I was expected to be out there, to speak to people and to address everyone as equals, you know, and I would find myself in Premier's office, Mayor's office, because I need to engage them about my programs and what I'm all about, you know. So it it really gave me a platform, you know, and it was like there were ups and downs,
Of
you know,
course.
because, and the things that I lost my mother when I was in that journey,
Is
you know,
it?
and it was such.
That must have been very difficult.
Exactly, it was, and I remember people calling me, asking me like, so are you going to quit or what, you know? But I was like, I'll never quit.
She would have wanted me to continue.
Exactly, you know, and she saw me when I was doing my purposes and my task and so on, so I wouldn't want to let her down.
What are some of the highlights of your career apart from this one? I'm sure you have so many highs, but are there some that you'd like to share with us?
Okay, like, you know, with my purpose, it led me to be all around Africa, you know, where I'll just get a call or a text to say, hey, Godfrey, we'd like to invite you to come judge. You know, I've been to Botswana to judge Mr. Gaborone. I've been to Zimbabwe to judge Mr. and Miss Albinism. I've been to Malawi to judge Mr. and Miss Albinism, you know, and the invites keeps on coming in, flocking in. And this month end, I'll be going to Nigeria to judge Mr. and Miss Nigeria International.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so it's
That's
like,
a big one.
Exactly, you know, it's like,
so how did they approach you? Where did they, you know, find out about you?
I think they went into my Instagram. I don't know. Yeah, because I was amazed to get a call to say, hey, can we speak to Godfrey? Then I was like, yeah, Godfrey, speak like, I'm Brendan from Nigeria. I'd like to invite you to come and judge our event. And I was like, okay. Then it's like, then he sent communication, you know, via email. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. Then it's like, we deem you fit to come and judge for us.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Now, the new initiative that you've introduced, Mr. and Miss Albinism, the first of its kind in South Africa. Talk to us about that.
You know that one, like people always say, hi, okay, like I'll be coming to an interview, like I came now, and when I go to the interview, people will be like, okay, you don't have albinism, you know, and they wonder, why did I start with such a purpose, you know, and they'll ask anyone with albinism at home. I'm like, no, you know, because what I've learned, like the people with albinism are marginalized, you know, they're marginalized, and if you have a kid like that, people think you cursed or, you know, such things, and people still believe that they can do muti with their bodies, they have high powers and so on, you know, and just forgetting that we all have those genes, you know, in ourselves. So tomorrow it can be you, it can be me having a kid with albinism, you know, so that's what we forget, you know. So I saw a need to really put them on the limelight and into a platform so that we start conversations about them, and as well to promote albinism in a good way, because every time when we hear about them, it's like, who is there? They kill them for multi.
Calling them names.
Exactly, you know, and people are calling them albino, which is improper, you know, because then when you say albino, it's their condition. You get a point.
People with albinism.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so how has the response been like since you've you opened the platform for submission,
you know,
for entries?
Yeah, when it started, it was so hard. I don't want to lie, you know, because the parents, they were like, hey, like, do you have albinism? What are you doing with our kids? They were scared and skeptical, like, is he trafficking our kids, you know?
But does he want to profit from
exactly,
us?
exactly, you know, and it was quite hard. So I started putting the entries out there, and I went to meet with Society of South Africa for people living with albinism, because I wanted them to be engaged and to put people at ease that I've partnered with the umbrella that has been existent forever. And slowly we got entries, and then we struggled with the male ones, because they were like, that's not for me, I've never been in such platform, you know. But now we end up having 30 finalists who are doing so.
That's a very good response.
Exactly, and they are so excited, and they're doing great. You get a point. And now people are warming to them and really interested, because they've been into so many interviews now. Yeah.
And when is it taking place?
It's taking place in on the 27th of March next year.
Okay, so there's a lot of time to prepare them. And okay, so what can people look forward to? How are we picking, you know, the winners on this one? Is it the same as any other pageant?
Okay, well, what I didn't want to concentrate much into the mainstream, you know, like where there'll be like your looks, your figure, your what, you know. So I took everyone who came in because mostly we're taking it as an awareness, you know, awareness. We're fighting for them to own the space and to as well be integrated into the communities. You know, the communities need to know about them, that hey, they are here and they are normal people and they can be anything, like anyone, you know. So like, yeah, we have 17 ladies and 13 guys. Yes.
That's very good.
So we'll be actually giving them tasks and challenges that they'll have to go into they challenge them to go into the communities and do things like charity works for them.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll be picking the winner based on the votes. We have online votes, or the votes and the task and how did they deliver the task. Yeah.
And now through your foundation, you've been giving back to a number of charity organizations, including orphanages as well. Talk to us about the foundation and what you do there.
Okay, the Godfrey Mphatswe Foundation actually is there to identify the gaps and as well to be able to like identify the problem and try and address that problem, you know. So we've been involved in like, I was involved with the Door of Hope. It's for abandoned kids, you know, we'll group things and take those things to them. And the Rainbow Child Care, it's based in Krugersdorp. I built them a library where I gathered like books and so on because I wanted to engage them to say, hey, okay, they might be challenged in mentally and whatsoever, but they need to be engaged like normal people, you know. And it was so nice. I used to go for book reading for them and they'll engage and participate, you know, and yeah, which was great. So the foundation is basically, it just gets involved where it needs to be involved. So we don't have a specific thing to say, we just dealing with this, you know, we brought.
Wherever you see the need and
Yes.
you're able to meet that need,
Yes.
you will fit in there.
Yeah.
Any partnerships that you forged along the way to help support the great work that you're doing, or are you looking for partners?
Yeah, I'm forever looking for partners, you know, and I believe in collaboration and partnership, and I believe that we can go far with that, you know. So I was being helped by, the SABC helped me a lot as well because I was able to position my Dropbox there and, you know, they were assisting promoting it internally, you know. So yeah, I've partnered previously with SABC Foundation. Yeah.
All right. And what kind of assistance are you looking for currently?
Currently, we're looking okay, the venue, okay, Mohale Centenary Hall, they'll be assisting us with the venue. So and then the DSD, Social Development, they'll be helping us with printing of the posters for the event. So we currently need for accommodation because it will be like, these kids will be coming from all the provinces, so coming into Johannesburg. So we need accommodation that will be like a lodge, you know, that can accommodate everyone. And as well, if we can get like sponsors that can assist us into making this event successful.
Right.
Yeah.
And in terms of prizes, what are we looking at?
Okay, prizes we're looking at, okay, Sanlam we yet to conclude, you know, because we were supposed to have held it last year actually, then we experienced COVID, you know.
Yeah.
No, it was supposed to be this year actually, March. So
And that's when, you know,
exactly
everything changed.
Oh, yes. So they had already committed that they'll give the top 3 like 10,000 and the laptops. But now we're reviewing that and we'll hear what they say.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, you love all things fashion. Are we still going to see you on the fashion stages?
You know, with that, yeah, like, you know, but now I choose the shows, like which one I go to and so on. But you will still see me on the runway, you
Right.
know. It made me, you know, it
Yeah.
made me.
So how do you choose them, though? How do you choose which fashion shows to participate? Obviously, you're basing that on experience. So, yeah.
And brand association
And
as
all,
well,
and brand
you know.
association.
So imagine me going to, like I was on Mr SA finalist, and imagine now going to be Mr Gauteng.
Ah,
You get a point.
I get
So
you.
we have to move
we have to move up.
higher. and not regress.
Right.
Yeah, so that's how I choose them.
And as a fashion icon, again, are we gonna see something coming from you in terms of a label?
That one. That one, I'm working around that one, but I don't want to spill the beans as
Okay.
yet, you know. So
You can hint a little bit. Are we gonna be seeing outfits like that? What are we looking at?
Okay, I have a brand, G Junction. So G Junction actually it's a fashion brand, you know. Hence I launched a fashion show like with G Junction.
Yeah.
So everything will be operating under G Junction.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it will be like a different material from different parts of our continent.
Okay.
I so love Africa, and I really think it needs to be promoted, and we can do it as Africans.
Right.
You know, and you know, forget a bit about international brands. Yes, they are there and they are making it because we keep on, you know, supporting them. We have to now bring it to Africa.
I'm very big on that. And by the way, shout out to
They're beautiful.
They're beautiful. Yeah, so, and this from House of Queen Esther. So yeah, no, I believe in supporting, you know, our people, our black business owners. I'm not ashamed of that. So support, are we going to have a women range as well? Or are you just focusing on men?
No, it will have a women range, you know.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm very accommodative.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. So, G, everything that you do, as much as you love fashion and pageants, you seem to want to make it a point that it speaks to something meaningful, right? So with the fashion brand that you'll be looking at, I'm sure there's something meaningful behind it as well. And just tell us again, why is it important for you to not just do something for the sake of doing it, but it has to have, you know, a meaning behind it?
You know, I've realized that as human beings, you know, we are created here in this platform to shine, you know, and own the platform. And then you have the people who manage to occupy the space, and now they're closing everyone out. You get a point? Like whereby you'll get people who are plus size models, and because we're following the internationals, now we can have our own, whereby we know we curvaceous, we know we fully figured. We don't have such things here, and we have to instill that and start brands like that accommodate all sort of women or human beings, because we are in Africa, and in Africa we have different body types. We have so many causes, and we need to include that. You get a point? So everything I do has a meaning, and it has to be attached to a purpose, because I believe in touching people's lives, you know.
That's what
That's
you know
my purpose.
you are about, touching people's lives and
Exactly.
making a difference.
Yes.
Beautiful. Now with every, you know, journey, there are some highlights, and you've shared them. What would you say are some of the challenges that you came across, and how did you overcome those?
Okay, I think the most one that really touched me is like losing my mother, you know, because she was my pillar. You get a point. I drew strength from her. So it was, and me losing her, it was, I had to decide that do I fall or do I keep strong and go ahead? You know, then I just fought forward. You know, so that was the challenge that I had to face, and that I'm still dealing with, but I'm getting fulfillment in being able to touch people's life in different ways.
Right.
Yeah.
Now let's play a little fun game, just to get to know you a little bit, and in the areas that you're operating in already. Your favorite fashion brand?
I love David Tlale, maybe because I worked with him a lot, and I came to learn him, you know, what he's all about, and it's not what people always think about, because they take him like an arrogant person and so on. But if you get into a space, he's a gentle.
So it's like you.
He's a gentle lion.
Right.
Yeah.
And have you been following the Mr SA pageant for a while before you got involved in it?
Yes.
Okay,
No,
so
it was not for a while
That's
actually.
it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you have, you know, your favorite Mr. SA from the years. Who would it be?
It was Pume.
Paul Poon.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to him?
I don't know what happened to him. You know, he just got.
Because I think he's the one who made it to be so, like, out there, and people got to know about Mr. SA.
Yeah, because I remember when actually I was in a pageant, people were like, is this pageant, is it still there? Because we remember Paul, you know, like, and that was 1982 or 1995, like somewhere.
No, it was in the 90s.
Exactly.
Not the 80s.
Okay, and they were like, okay, is this still here? You know.
So it means there's something good that guy did.
It's something good, and what I've realized is like, put an African in the mix of things, then you'll see things moving forward. You know, we own the space. It's ours.
People need to see something different. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. You know.
And then coming to Miss SA, your favorite from the year?
Ntando Yankosi.
Ntando Yankosi Kunene.
Yeah, I loved her a lot.
Oh,
Maybe
wow.
as well. Maybe I'm being biased because I've occupied the same space with her. Last year, actually, we went to judge at Sun City, so we're working together there. Okay. So as well, I learned to really be with, because we were there for a week, you know. So we had to deliberate, we have to eat together and discuss things. So I learned like, oh, this is a powerful woman and highly spiritual woman.
Right.
You know, he loves
when did
God.
she take the title again? 2016?
It was 2016.
2016.
Yeah.
Okay, my memory is not that bad at all.
At all.
Right. So now, when it comes to the changes that we've seen globally in pageants, we have a black Miss Universe who comes from South Africa.
That's
right?
powerful. That's
very powerful.
Yeah.
And she's reigning at a time when they also had the first black Miss USA. And Miss Teen USA as well. How refreshing is that?
It is refreshing, and we actually need to see more of that.
Exactly.
That we exist, we are here, you know, to own the space. And if everyone can get a fair chance, you get a point. And I love what she's doing. You know, she's doing.
She's taking up space.
Yeah, she's taking. She's cementing. She's
cementing
exactly. So you know that's great to see a young black woman representing the whole of South Africa like that. Actually, the whole universe.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
Beautiful. Oh, well, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your time, and we wish you everything of the best. And where can people see the pageant that you putting together? You said it's in March.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. People can follow our social pages. That's Mr and Miss Albinism South Africa. That's Facebook and Instagram as well. Mr and Miss Albinism South Africa.
All right, and hopefully in March things would have gotten better, and you'll be able, guys, to go and be part of the pageant if you'd like.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Mr.
you.
G.
It was
Godfrey
great being
Mphatswe. Okay, that's all we had time for. Don't forget to subscribe so that you can get more of these kinds of conversations where we inspire you to live your life by design.